guys, so welcome to my first ever podcast. I did it. I finally got here. Today we're going to be talking about recreating ourselves. Okay, so talking about how we can recreate our own selves, our own passions, and sort of move ourselves forward into our next level in our lives. I'm a psychic medium. I'm also a spiritual guide. I also teach spiritual awakening. I do a lot of things with a lot of people. I also have a holistic healing therapy that I do for people. And again, I also have Reiki courses, spiritual awakening courses that I do. So anyway, what I do to help people to move forward in their lives and help them on their path and their journey into their spiritual awakening is really, really good for me, because I was in a situation many years ago where I became very, very sick. Okay, so before I got very sick though, I was very independent. I had my own job. I loved my life. Literally, I lived a great life. I had friends. I was enjoying myself, children. Well, I had one child at the time, and I was really, really happy. Like, I'll be honest with you, I even had a massive breakup just before that, about 4 or 5 years before that. I had a massive breakup, and actually that was like the awakening for me. As much as it broke my heart, I actually moved forward and actually saw that, you know what, in life you don't need people. You don't actually need people. What you need is to trust in yourself, trust in your abilities, trust that you are somebody who can do whatever they wish to do in their lives. But it took me a long time to realise that actually I was already doing that. I just was relying upon my ex to do that for me in some way. Like I say, I got sick. I got very sick. And when I got sick, I felt like my life was ending. I felt like I was really literally losing myself. I just didn't know where I was in life. I didn't know what I wanted from my life. Sadly, I had to leave my job that I love my job, because I was helping people. I was literally helping people, and that's something that I'm really passionate about. And I then got very sick after having my daughter. I became very, very unwell. That led to me obviously becoming bedbound. I couldn't literally do anything for myself. I was literally like relying on my husband, and I relied upon him. I relied upon him for everything, doing things, taking me to the toilet, bathing me, everything you can think of. And the truth is, you know, I started to get these conditions, and I was thinking, why am I chronically unwell? Where did this come from? What happened to me? And it was only then that I realised, after going to many doctors, I went everywhere, I started to realise that people around me were starting to really sort of, I felt like people were liking the fact that I was ill, and they were like judging me. Even people that I loved, people that I really thought cared about me, and people were saying certain things about me, and that crushed me. Like, it literally crushed me, because I thought to myself, you know, I'm sick, I can't help what's happening to me, and yet you're mocking me, you're judging me because I'm ill. Like, I can't help this. I don't know where it came from. And I remember going back in my mind thinking, when did this happen? How did this happen? It all started, like I say, after having my daughter. But then I kind of had to rewind a bit more and go like, well, where did that part come from? And actually it turns out that when I had a miscarriage before I got pregnant with my daughter, I hadn't healed. I hadn't done any healing. I hadn't really helped myself at that point. I just kind of took the fact that I had a miscarriage, and I just assumed that was, you know, that's it. I've had a miscarriage and we have to move forward. Didn't really grieve properly, wasn't able to grieve properly, because I still had to carry on with life. You know, I had another child, and it was one of those things. But then I started to notice, when I got pregnant with my daughter, I started to feel unwell again. Like, I started to feel quite unwell, and I just thought, perhaps it's just the pregnancy. And then after I had my daughter, I got even more sick, to the point where I was taken into hospital, and I remember needing to rely on my husband for everything. And this continued. Like, I came out of hospital and I felt like, you know, things were happening to my body that I couldn't control. And it was like the people around me that was kind of like, oh, I'm sorry, you know, I'm really sorry. They were really like supportive, I thought, until those comments came, and those judgments and those criticisms and those, oh, well, she's probably just, you know, making it up. Perhaps she's just playing on it. And I remember thinking at that point, okay, I've got to do something here. You know, I can't live my life like this. I can't live my life just relying upon my husband to help me out of my bed and help me to do stuff. And it was like I was being mocked, but not to my face. You know, people do that. They do that, don't they? They really do. And so I was kind of being judged and mocked for being ill. And that is when I was going to the hospital, having all these tests. I was having everything done, all these diagnoses. And every time I got a diagnosis, I was like, but I don't want to have that. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, I wasn't like this before. Something triggered it. And this is where my spiritual awakening really took hold of me. It was like something just switched inside of me. And it was like this awakening just happened. It was like I opened my eyes and thought, you know what? I can't live my life like this. And all these extra illness symptoms that were coming on top, I was thinking, there's more to this. There's more to this. There's got to be something within me that's causing this. This is when I started to look into alternative healing, energy healing. I started to really look into alternative holistic medicine. Holistic medicine, fantastic, brilliant, especially when you use acupuncture, acupressure. Oh my God, those kind of things are absolutely amazing. Reiki healing, sound healing. Oh my goodness, I fell in love with sound healing. I also then recently, very, very recently fell in love with frequency healing. So let's just rewind a little bit before I get to where I actually started to really heal myself. So again, I go back to when I was talking about when people don't understand that you are ill and they're just kind of judging and thinking, you know, whatever they're thinking in their mind just tells them whatever they think, and they're just going to go with that. It doesn't matter what I say or what you say, they're just going to have their judgment, and you have to accept that. And I found that really difficult because I used to feel like I was very independent. I felt like I was grieving the loss of myself. I really did lose myself. And it wasn't until this one day I woke up and I said to myself, I can't do this anymore. I just can't do this anymore. And I remember all the people that were supporting me, I thought were supporting me. You know, they were all, you know, oh, I hope you get better one day soon. Oh, I feel really sorry for you. And I used to moan. It's only now I think to myself, I used to moan. I used to moan about my illness. And then I stopped. And it was when I stopped and I started to bring out more positive. So I started to go into affirmations. I started to go into meditation. I started working on my chakras. I started working on the Merkaba, the aura. I remember just like going into every YouTube channel there was, and I would just be clicking on all these different healing modalities that people use, you know, chakras and all. Oh my God, it was like a newfound world for me, and I hadn't really done it before. I just hadn't really connected with the earth in that way to get really into this. And I started to notice these changes within my body. Like I really started to notice the changes, and when those changes started to happen, I became me again. It was like I started to get a new lease of me. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, like imagine what this could do for me if I keep doing this. Like imagine if I started to do it by myself, you know, imagine if I started to use Reiki on myself. Can I do that? And that is when my life started. Like my whole healing journey just leveled up at this point, because I was getting quite, you know, saying the affirmations every day, starting to really work on myself. I started to notice that when I was posting positive things on my social media, it was like they were kind of a bit disappointed. It was like, oh, it's nice to see that you're doing well, and oh, it's nice to see you being a bit more positive. And I did notice that a lot of things changed, including my friendship circle changed, because they just seemed to not be bothered anymore. They just didn't seem to have that about them to want to be around me, because I was starting to feel more positive. And again, I have to go right into this, because when I got a serious mental health disorder, which is called agoraphobia, I remember that I literally just stopped, okay? And when I say I stopped, I didn't contact people. I didn't post very much. I just hid myself away. I did that for nearly 2 solid years. I remember just feeling like I was frozen in my body. It actually felt like I was in a different world, because I don't really like being around a lot of people, just due to the condition that I have. But also I am a highly sensitive soul, okay? And I pick up on energies. I pick up on vibrations of energy, sound. Oh, I'm in there. That is when I realised, oh my goodness, this is something to do with my central nervous system. This is my nervous system saying I'm stuck. And I remember thinking, how on earth am I going to stop this happening to me? Like how? And again, that is when I found healing. And I found that Reiki really helped me to calm. I learned breath work. Oh my goodness, if I could tell you anything about breath work, it is like a godsend when you are having the most out of body experience you could ever imagine. You just stop breathing, you start focusing, closing your eyes, focusing on the breath, bring that breath into your body, feel it, let it be around your body. But the truth is, you know, I found these modalities, I found these healing techniques that worked, and they started slowly but surely. I started to feel a bit human again. It was like my whole senses had been like stripped from me. And then slowly but surely, with all these healing frequencies, I started using sound healing, Reiki, breath work, natural skills that you can use, tapping as well. The tapping techniques, they are absolutely amazing. And they are the things that I found really, really helped me on my journey. So when I was doing all of this, I then started to learn it to the point where I was certified, qualified in so many healing modalities. I am so proud of myself. I would never have dreamed about it, even to the point, like, it started about 10, 11 years ago. I honestly, hand on my heart, felt like my life had been taken from me. I didn't know what I was going to do. I thought I was dying. It was like my whole body shut down. That is when I kicked in. That is when I feel that my spiritual side of me just kicked in and thought, nope, she's not leaving us now. I'm too young for that. I'm needed on this earth. And that is where I started to ascend. I started to really hone in on my skills, my abilities, my psychic abilities, my intuition. And then I started to use it to help others. This is when I realised that my friends, my family, my so-called caring people around me, they showed their real colours. They literally showed their real colours. They showed me who they really were. Even to the point where some people, it was like they loved that I couldn't do things. They loved that I couldn't go out places. It was like they thrived on it. Yeah, like they thrived on knowing that I was stuck and that I couldn't do things for myself and that I needed someone else's help. And that is the passion that I took, that passion of proving myself to myself. Like, I don't need to prove anything to anybody, but it just showed me something. And this is something that you may actually have realized in your life. If you've ever been in a situation where you are down so low, or you're at the point of breaking, and you realize that people suddenly start flocking and want to help you and want to keep you there. They do want to keep you there. They want you to kind of, not everyone, but most of them want to keep you there so that you feel you rely on them. Some people get a kick out of that. They get a kick out of, well, she needs me or he needs me, they need me. And then you can use that as a weapon, like they can use that as a weapon against you. And a lot of times that happened to me. And now the memories come back, I'm a bit like, I don't need you. I haven't needed you. I just thought I did. Those thoughts in your mind where, oh my God, what am I ever going to do without this person? The truth is, you will do it. You will, because your mind cannot survive on worry and fear forever. It just can't do that. The mind starts to find a way. The ego the ego's the biggest problem you've got, because once the ego knows that you are scared of something, it wants to keep you trapped. A bit like those people, they want to keep you trapped. Sometimes it's not even a nasty thing they're trying to do. It's because it makes them feel better. It makes them feel like, oh, I'll keep you like this so that it makes me feel better because I'm doing something for you. But actually what they're doing is that they are literally hindering you. They're not pushing you to make yourself better. They're not pushing you to do something to get back out there, to get your life back. And that is where you will find it, even though it feels like they're helping you, that they're looking after you, it feels like they're doing the best thing for you. Trust me, the best thing they can do is sort of step back and ask you to do something for yourself, ask you to actually step out of that comfort zone, because it becomes a comfort zone. One of the biggest, I think, more hurt than a problem, it's more hurts, is that you realize with some people that when they were keeping you down, keeping you low and keeping you where they wanted you, and some of them do it for spite, I'm being honest, they do, they love it, they thrive off the fact that you need help. That for me is massive, because I sit and think to myself, well, you know what, I didn't need you, and then I did, and you took advantage of that. You actually took advantage of the fact that I needed you, and now you use it as a weapon against me. You need to learn in life, okay? When some people realize they had you in a cube or in a ball or whatever you want to call it, they sort of keep you balled and chained to them, okay, in whatever manner. It doesn't mean that they kind of lock you away, just figure of speech. What I'm saying is, some people thrive on that and they like that. The minute you change and you become your own person, you start to really hone in on your own gut feelings, you follow your heart, you follow your passion in your life, and you bring yourself to that point where you are now independent again. You're going to see some truths and they're going to hurt. You're going to see people for what they really are, and it is going to hurt. You're going to see that they didn't actually want to hold you down in the sense of to make you feel like they cared for you. It was making them feel better. It was about them. It wasn't about you. Yes, okay, initially it probably was, But when someone keeps you in that little ball, keeps you there, and they know that you need them, it makes them feel powerful and makes you look powerless. The next step for you now, if that is you, if you are stuck, okay, please understand that you're not stuck. You're not stuck at all. And it's only when you start to feed here with the right things, go into meditation, do your breath work, start to really work on you, do your affirmations, say them daily, do mantras, you know, really work on building those neural pathways to understand that you don't need to live like you are right now. If you're in that situation right now, trust me that it will not be long if you start to work here before you start to move into that new dimension, and you will start to heal and you can move on and be that independent soul you are meant to be. I'll catch you next time, guys. Take care.